The tunnel ran for miles in the dark. The swamp took what it could and gave back the rest. By the end, the cooking phase tasted different, like something had been decided without a vote. They are fewer now. Faces that were there at the start have simply stopped being there, and no one announces it. The exam has been doing exactly what it was designed to do, not eliminating the weak, but revealing the gap between who a person believed they were and who they actually are. That gap is where most of them break. And now, in the quiet space between phases, before the next test even begins, Gon is about to meet someone who will change everything he thought the word friendship could mean. It happens somewhere around the second phase. Gon meets Killua Zoldyck, and meeting Killua is not like meeting a friend. It is like meeting someone who has never been taught what friendship is. Someone who grew up believing that connection is weakness. He walked into this exam bored, in the specific way that extremely dangerous people get bored, when the world stops offering them anything that requires their full attention. He is not here for a license. He is here to feel something. Killua is 12 years old, the same age as Gon, and he is possibly the most dangerous person in the entire exam. Not the most powerful, the most dangerous. He comes from a family of professional assassins. The Zoldicks are not a criminal organization in the usual sense. They are an institution. Governments and corporations pay extraordinary sums for their services, and those services have never once failed. Killua was trained since before he could walk to feel no pain and move without a sound. They did this to a child methodically and called it love. He is killed. He is 12 years old, and no one ever told him this was something he was supposed to have feelings about. It was just a skill, like reading or holding a knife. He has never had a friend. He only knows the word. The way you know the name of a country you will never visit. But Gon is different from everyone Killua has ever encountered. Gon is not afraid of him, and he is not impressed by him either. Not in that careful way people are impressed by dangerous things. Gon just likes him, plainly and completely. The way a person likes the sun, without calculating what it did to earn the warmth. It catches Killua completely off guard. He keeps waiting for the catch. The moment the kindness turns out to be a transaction, it never comes. Gon simply keeps offering it, as if it costs him nothing. So Killua stays close. And something buried under years of training and distance begins, very slowly, to respond. For the first time, the boredom is gone. And a change is gone too. He has always been the one who reaches out, who likes people first and asks questions never. But Killua is the first person who needs that warmth and has no idea how to receive it. So Gon stays patient with a boy who flinches at kindness the way other people flinch at pain. The two of them fall into step together almost immediately. And between them, without either of them deciding it, something rare begins. A friendship that asks for nothing and somehow gives everything. The third phase is Trick Tower, a structure built into the face of a sheer cliff, descending hundreds of meters into the earth. The objective is simple to say and brutal to do. Reach the bottom within 72 hours. The tower is a machine for revealing people. Every passage branches. Every branch carries its own consequence. Some paths are puzzles. Some are ambushes. Some are rooms where the only way forward runs straight through another person. The group that travels together must vote on every major decision. They are Gon, Killua, Kurapika, Leorio, and a veteran saboteur named Tampa. Tampa has intentionally failed the exam dozens of times. He uses his experience not to succeed, but to make sure no one else does. 3 votes to proceed, 2 to resist. Tampa votes no on everything. He is not trying to pass. He is here because watching capable people fail gives him the only kind of power he knows how to reach. It is a small, sour kind of power, but it is his. Descending the tower together does something to the 5 of them. Even with Tampa working against them from the inside, they learn each other's rhythms. Who panics? Who steadies? Who reaches a hand back without being asked? Trust is not declared here. It is built one corridor at a time. In the small decisions that come when the floor opens and there is no time to think, and slowly, quietly, the 4 who actually want to pass begin to move like people who have started to rely on one another. They would not say it out loud. They do not have to. The individual matches inside the tower are the most revealing thing the exam has produced so far. The structure forces them, one by one, into a single room with a single opponent, and nowhere to hide who they are. Leorio faces a man who dismantles his technique inside the first 30 seconds. Faster, more practiced. Someone who has clearly done this many times before. The match should not be close. It should be over. Leorio makes it close anyway. Not through skill, but through the specific stubbornness of a person who once made a promise standing in front of a grave. He has no intention of being deterred by something as temporary as losing. So he absorbs punishment that should stop him. He gets up. He does it again. He does it again after that. His opponent starts doing math. Time, injury, the cost of continuing against a man who simply will not stay down. Eventually, he concedes. It is not a victory of power. It is a victory of refusal. It is the most Leorio thing that has ever happened. And in its own quiet way, it is the most honest thing anyone has done in this tower. He did not win because he was better. He won because he wanted it more and was willing to bleed to prove it. Kurapika's fight reveals something different and far more dangerous. His opponent is a strategist who treats emotion as the weapon of choice. He studies Kurapika, finds the wound, and aims for it. He says the things calculated to break Kurapika's concentration by landing directly on his grief. It is a mistake of catastrophic proportions, because what Kurapika's grief is, underneath the measured silence and the careful control, is not a wound. It is a furnace. The moment the provocation lands, the scarlet bleeds into his eyes, and something in the room changes. Not loudly, not with any drama, but Kurapika becomes more precise, not less. More cold, more methodical. The grief does not cloud him. It sharpens him into something almost inhuman. He wins so efficiently that it is almost frightening to watch. Then the scarlet fades, and he is quiet again, folded back into himself as if nothing happened. And that is the part that should worry you. The question the fight leaves hanging is not whether Kurapika is strong. It is whether he will be able to choose, when the time finally comes, between justice and the thing that only wears its face. Gon faces a man named Sudoken. He places 2 candles on a table and offers a choice. One candle burns naturally and goes out in its own time. The other is rigged to kill whoever holds it. Gon must choose one and keep it burning for the length of the fight. His opponent believes this is an unwinnable position. He believes fear will make Gon tentative, passive, easy to manage. He has watched fear do this to grown men. He is wrong about all of it. Gon picks the shorter candle without hesitation. Think about the logic of that. A shorter candle means a faster outcome. A faster outcome means less time spent thinking about a candle and more time actually fighting. His opponent stands there holding the longer one, and he has no answer. He prepared for fear and got the opposite. He built a trap out of dread, and the boy walked through it like it was a door. He never once considered that someone might simply prefer to fight. Killua moves through his own sections of the tower the way water moves downhill, without effort, without drama, without hesitation. He is not enjoying himself. He is just not being challenged, because the tower was built to test people, and Killua was built to end them. But here's the strange part. Watching Gon fight makes him feel something. Not pride exactly. Something closer to recognizing a thing he was always told did not exist. A door quietly swinging open onto a way of living he had never once been offered. By the time the 5 of them reach the bottom, something has quietly shifted. They are not a team. Not exactly. They never agreed to be one. But they have seen each other at the edge of failure, and none of them looked away. Leorio bled and would not quit. Kurapika opened a door inside himself and managed to close it again. Gon turned fear into a question and answered it without flinching. And Killua watched all of it, and for the first time in his life, he wanted to stay. The tower took 72 hours and gave them something the exam never promised. It gave them each other. They step out into the light, not as competitors, but as something none of them quite has a name for yet. The tower delivers them out the other side, into mountain air and the beginning of the 4th phase. The light is different here, open, almost merciful, after all that descending dark. Zevil Island is a small, uninhabited place. Every surviving candidate receives a number tag. Each tag points to another candidate whose own tag must be collected. The island is the arena. 7 days. The exam has become a hunt. And the message underneath it is the one the whole exam has been building toward from the very first phase. To become a hunter, you have to understand what it means to pursue something. And you have to understand what it means to be pursued. In the real world, those 2 things are never separate. The hunter is always, somewhere, also prey. So the candidates spend 7 days moving through dense terrain, sleeping in shifts if they sleep at all. Alliances form and collapse within hours. People who were certain they were predators discover the very particular discomfort of learning that someone else has quietly placed them in the prey column. It changes the way they walk. It changes the way they breathe. This is the part of the exam that works on the mind more than the body. The island does not need to attack anyone. It just lets them sit inside the knowledge that they can be found. And one by one, the candidates who survived everything else begin to learn what they are really made of. When the threat never goes away and the sleep never quite comes, Gon finds his target, loses him, then tracks him back through the undergrowth with a patience that does not match his age. He reads traces most trained adults would walk straight past. He spent his whole childhood on an island where survival required exactly this kind of reading. The forest raised him. It taught him to listen. He knows what a trail looks like when something has tried to erase itself. He knows which branches break under the weight of a careful step and which ones break on their own. He knows the difference between an animal moving and a person pretending to be one. So he retrieves what he came for. And then, in the middle of all this, Hisoka finds him and does something no one expected. He gives back the tag he should have taken. He does not explain. He looks at Gon with the calm of a man making a long-term calculation. He hands the tag over, and he leaves. He has decided that Gon is not ready. Not yet. The fruit is not ripe. And Hisoka is patient. He can wait as long as it takes, because the waiting is part of the pleasure for him. To Hisoka, Gon is not a target. He is an investment, a thing he wants to watch grow strong precisely so that breaking it later will mean something. It is the most dangerous kind of attention a person can receive. Affection from someone who only loves what he intends to destroy. And Gon feels the edge of it without being able to name it. Somewhere in him, without fully understanding what just happened, something files this moment away. The strangeness of being spared by the most frightening man here. The sense that a debt was just created, and he is not sure in which direction it runs. He will come back to it later. He always does. 7 days on the island have shown each of them what they carry when no one is watching. Who they are with no audience, no rules, nothing but their own instincts and the dark. The hunt is over. The tags are collected, and the survivors, fewer than anyone would have predicted at the start, are being called back to one final room. Not a swamp, not a tower, not an island designed to make them lose themselves. A plain room where they will face each other one-on-one, with everything the exam has stripped away still stripped away. Think about how far they have come to get here. They walked into a swamp full of liars. They cooked under judges who could not be pleased. They fell through a tower built to break them. And they came out holding on to each other. They hunted and were hunted and learned the difference is thinner than anyone wants to admit. Every phase took something from them and gave back a sharper version of who they already were. Gon is still the boy who likes people first. Killua is still dangerous, but no longer alone. Kurapika still carries the furnace. Leorio still refuses to fall.